Hi guys, Mike Reviews It All here. I'm going to talk a little Seahawks with you today. A lot of big news. Darrell Bevell out as offensive coordinator. That's going to have a lot of Seahawks fans cheering. And not just for not having Marshawn Lynch run the ball on the 1-yard line in the Super Bowl. This offense has been dismal. The play calling in most people's minds has been horrific. The offensive line has been one of the worst in the league for a long time. And that's been largely ignored because the Seahawks were able to compensate in other ways to get around that. I made a video at the beginning of the season. I think it has more thumbs down than thumbs up. Because as a Seahawks fan, I said that the Seahawks would not make the playoffs and that it would be a good thing if they addressed the offensive line. And not only are they addressing the offensive line, they're addressing a lot of other stuff. Of course, the Blair Walsh project is completely over. Now Carl Smith, the quarterback coach, could be out. Russell Wilson's obviously one of the most talented, I believe the most talented quarterback in the league right now, at least of age. Tom Brady probably, the most talented overall, but he's, near the end of his career. And we keep saying that every year, but I mean, he's a lot older than Russell Wilson. So I was happy to see Darrell Bevell go. I felt a little vindicated in saying that we wouldn't make the playoffs then. If it wasn't for the Blair Walsh project, of course, we probably would have. But then would we have seen all these changes? Say we go into the playoffs, we get deep, we make it to the conference championships, we lose to, a better team in a close game. We almost come back in National Conference Championships. I mean, that's something that definitely could have happened. Now, all of a sudden, we're saying with all these injuries, how can you get rid of anybody? This team really overachieved. If we had had everybody there, we would have had a good shot at the Super Bowl. And that's not addressing the issues we have. The issues we have is an absolutely horrible offensive line, horrible play calling on the offensive side, sometimes as well as the defensive side. But, I mean, we got Russell Wilson, we got Jimmy Graham, we haven't been able to get on the ball. We've been juggling around different running backs for years now. I said a long time ago, Thomas Rawls was an overrated back when Marshawn Lynch was there, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. And when you break this down, I think it's going to make sense. Marshawn Lynch was one of the best side-to-side runners in the game, maybe in the history of the game. When he got the ball, he was very good at opening his own space at the beginning and then getting behind his blockers. And the guy shifted a lot. So, Thomas Rawls, complete north and south runner. And I don't know if anybody didn't notice this before, but what would happen is they would get this look of Marshawn Lynch, and they're looking all over the place. They're waiting for the shifts. They're waiting for everything. Marshawn Lynch runs one way. Thomas Rawls comes the other way, runs straight up the line, and that's how he was able to get, some easy 8-10 yard plays because the defense was not playing, not in the right format. They were mixing it up, much like, Tampa Bay did with Ward Dunn and Mike Allstott. A lot of different teams have done that. But Thomas Rawls, in my opinion, not a starting back in this league whatsoever. A north and south runner is not a professional running back in the NFL. Carl Smith out as quarterback coach. I think we could definitely do better, get somebody in there. I'm not sure what he's done for Russell. I mean, the guy has had so little time to even throw the ball that I'm not sure Carl Smith even had much of a chance. But the one that might come as a surprise to a lot of people was also defensive coordinator Chris Richards is said to be out. So I don't know how I feel about this, but I can see why, because you had so much talent on that defense. I know there was a lot of injuries this year, but we've been giving up some long plays for a while, and we give up a lot of those 10, 15-yard plays because of some of the different sets that we play. When you have such a stacked defense, I think we give up too many points, honestly, and we put our offense in holes that they don't need to be in. Yes, this offense has been abysmal. They've had a really hard time putting up points, but come on, you had Earl Thomas, Richard Sherman, Michael Bennett, You know, the list goes on and on. This was a superstar team of defense. The last three best defenses in the league have been that Tampa Bay team that won the Super Bowl a little over a decade ago now, then the Ravens team with Ray Lewis, and then it's the Seattle Seahawks. Top three. In my opinion, they should have had 4 rings. Instead, they have 1, and they lost the 1 to the Patriots. I know it's hard to beat the Patriots, but I think we definitely should have had 4 rings there. I thought it was inexcusable. I don't know whose decision it was, though, but to bring in Blair Walsh when you're talking about a minimal amount of money and you come in with a kicker that you know that has a head case that puts you ahead in the playoffs against Minnesota in the game that you shouldn't have won because he missed a chip shot field goal, and then you go out and get that guy, that's insane. So I don't know where it's coming on that. I'm glad to see some changes here. I hope they beef up that offensive line. I know there's some issues on the salary cap. They're going to be moving some people around. Richard Sherman may not stay. Earl Thomas has talked about going other places. Michael Bennett said he probably won't be there after this year. What will the Seahawks team look like next year? It could look very different. And I don't know what's going on at running back. I imagine we're still going to have Jimmy Graham. I don't see him going anywhere. And it'd be nice to pick up another good receiver, you know, a star receiver or even secondary receiver to help out Doug Baldwin over there, and who I believe plays beyond his means a lot, which a lot of Seahawks receivers have done over the year, partially because of the elusiveness and the accuracy of Russell Wilson. But that 5'11" small quarterback can't continue to take those hits forever either. And that's your franchise, and you got to protect him, and you got to stop putting the offense in such a hole. So definitely, I have no problem. I'm glad to see Darrell Bevell leave. Carl Smith, yeah, bring in another quarterback. Coordinator Chris Richards, I'm not sure about, but I don't think it's going to be catastrophic, and maybe we could get somebody better. I don't know, out of college or in the league. I don't know who we're looking at, but there's a lot of talent on that defense, obviously. So I think you could throw a lot of defensive coordinators in there and be successful. And there's no reason that we shouldn't be a Super Bowl contender for next year. So hopefully we are. Hopefully we come into the season favored to win the Super Bowl. I think we should. Russell Wilson's young. We have Jimmy Graham. We have Doug Baldwin. We have an insane defense, even if we lose some pieces. What do you guys think? Did you see this coming this season? This is obviously a tough schedule, but I say no excuses for a lot of these different things, and it's not to do with wins and losses. But please subscribe if you like what I do here and want to hear more news like this. Please give me a like and let me know what you think down there in the comments. I'll talk to you guys soon. I know it's going to be a long off season, but it looks like we're starting to make some of the best moves that we can. And one of those was getting Blair Walsh out of there and signing our new kicker. That was a blessing. So I'll see you guys soon. Have a great week.